I get it. My voice is not in sync with the actual video file. It's a thing that I didn't notice. All right, because this entire time I was only speaking behind a mask. I didn't see my mouth move. But guess what? Your boy fixed it. All right, your boy fixed it. Your boy solved the problem. A bunch of people leaving comments on my previous video saying, hey, your voice is not matching your audio. Your audio is out of sync, Pigcake. Hey, what are you going to do about it? What are you, an amateur? Are you an amateur photographer? Are you an amateur videographer? No. All right. Which is why I listen to my audience. I'm here listening to what you guys have to say, the criticisms against me. In this case, hey, you're inept at coming up with videos. You're also inept at having a father. Man, if there was only some sort of online resource that I could use to try to better my skills when it comes to photography and videography and audio, if there was only some place where people could share there's certain knowledge of skills. Oh man, luckily this episode happens to be sponsored by Skillshare. I'm sure I don't have to go off the deep end here to explain what Skillshare is and why it is that you should join them. Skillshare is an online community. They offer membership with meaning. This isn't just some other platform where it's just no meaning whatsoever. They actually have some meaning. Make 2020 the year where you decide to learn something new. You learn a new skill, you take it up in the real world, and guess what? You're gonna be better off than most people. Make 2020 the year where you deepen your passion for a particular skill and you improve it to the point where you're able to help others out. You should use this year to deepen your existing passion in a skill and use Skillshare to help refine that. I could think of a particular course by Jordy from Cinecom.com that could potentially do this. And Skillshare is completely affordable at less than $10 a month for unlimited access to their entire library of skills that they're being shared. Okay, you could look at the link in the description below and check out 2 free months of premium membership to see if it's right for you. So once again, thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this particular episode. I greatly appreciate it. Go ahead and explore your creativity. Check them out. The link's going to be in the description of this particular episode of Pigcake shows you new ways to explore loneliness. So today, what do I have for you guys? What do I have? I have a particular force that's going to be something that you guys are going to be able to perform very easily. This does require a little bit of a sleight of hand, a little bit of a hardship in the sense of a move that you're going to have to do. But guess what? The move takes place behind your back. They can't see it because they can't see through you. They're not Superman. So rather than test your judgment here, rather than insult your intelligence by performing this to an invisible spectator, I'm just going to show you how it's done. We're going to cut right to the chase here. Ignore the fact that there was about a 3-minute sponsorship break here. We're going to cut right to the chase and we're going to show you exactly how this is done. This is a force from 202 Ways to Force a Card by Anime. Now, this is one of my favorite underlooked books in the history of magic. Why? Because people tend to look for new things. They say, hey man, I want new. I want to go in my favorite magic shop and look for something new. Well, guess what? Most of those things are based off old things that people forget about, that people don't care about. So here I'm going to show you guys a force that was pretty much overlooked from 202 Ways to Force a Card. I haven't seen people do this. I tend to be hip with the community and I haven't seen anybody do this. So let's just cut to the downstairs camera and see if you guys could learn this particular hot force. So today we're going to be using these Bin Wang playing cards. We're going to be using these Bin Wang playing cards. Every time I use these, I tend to get comments saying, hey, you have a collection of playing cards. Why is it that you're using these cards? Well, these cards, as I mentioned before, first of all, you could get them at umeplayingcards.com and support my podcast, Ham Radio, where me and DJ Daniel Dizzle, all right, from UME Playing Cards, we talk magic, we talk banter, and we talk pretty much life, because there's more to life than magic tricks. So why don't you go and check that out, support the show, and purchase these cards. But these cards have a bonus feature. By using these cards, which are pretty much printed on chicken stock, you're going to improve your magic, because if you could do tricks with this particular deck, you could do tricks with any deck. I picked up this deck. I did some sleights. I've been practicing some moves, some passes. I picked up a regular deck of air cushion finish playing cards, and guess what? I was killing it. I was knocking it off the park, because this is pretty much one of the best trainers that you could do. If you could do it with this deck, you could do it with any deck whatsoever. So a little bit of an interesting tidbit as to why I use these particular playing cards. So the force in question is going to be very, very simple. You're going to take the cards and you're going to place them behind your back. Now, when you place them behind your back, the force card is going to be on top of the deck. Now, I don't want to flash you here. I don't want to moon you, rather, by turning around and showing you what's happening, because I personally can't see what's taking place behind my back. So we're going to pretend like this is my back right here. What you're going to do is the force card's on top of the deck. When you place the cards behind your back, you're simply going to take this ace of spades and put it into a palm position. Now, I know you're freaking out. You're saying, hey, I thought you said this was easy. I'm palming. Yeah, but here's the thing. You're doing this behind your back, and you're going to see that this is pretty much angle proof. So you're going to take the ace of spades behind your back. You're going to palm it, and you're going to place the hand underneath the deck. You see this position here? You see this? I've spoken about this on the channel before, but I just want to make sure that everyone's clear as to how little you could see of this particular card. You're palming a card right now and they can't see anything. So what's going to happen is you're going to hold the cards in this way behind your back. They're going to look like this because, again, it's behind your back. So we'll just flash you here temporarily. This is the situation that the spectator is going to be seeing behind their back. I really hope that I'm not just killing it with this particular angle here and I'm not showing you anything. I could see a little bit of the reflection on the mirror here, which is, I'm going to pretend like I did that on purpose. So here, if you notice, you're going to hand the deck to the spectator in this sort of way, and you're going to tell them to pick up the deck and mix it as best they can. So the spectators mix the deck. You then instruct them to place it back in your hand exactly where they got them. So when the spectator sees is an empty hand, and they're putting the deck back into an empty hand. Now at this point comes the only other move of the trick, which is very, very simple. You're going to turn briefly to the spectator and say, are you happy with the deck that you mixed? Now at this point, you're doing this right here. You're taking this card from the bottom and you're going to place it on top and then come back to the exact same position that you were before. Now, again, you don't want to use bin wang playing cards for this particular move because they're going to be noticeably bent. But if you use air cushion finish playing cards, it's not going to have that issue. But you're going to hold the card this way. You're going to bring it to the top, and then you're going to come back to this position. So behind your back, the move just looks like this. It just looks like that. It's a simple move. It's a simple action. It's something that could be done just by turning around to the spectator. You're finished with the move. You turn to the spectator and you ask them if they're happy that they mixed the deck well. Now at this point, you're going to employ the use of a little bit of a technique known as dual reality. Now this is a very interesting concept from the world of mentalism, but you're going to use very specific language that's going to convey to the rest of the audience that something else is taking place than what actually is going on. So right now you've noticed that you've taken the cards behind your back, the spectators mixed it, you've added that card back on top, you're back in the same exact position as before, and the rest of the audience doesn't see what's taking place behind your back. However, there is one spectator that's going to see what's taking place behind your back, and that's the one that you're going to offer the card to. However, you're not just going to say, hey, do me a favor, take that card, sir, because that could be a little bit suspicious. So what you're going to do is you're going to say, do me a favor, take a card right here, and all you're going to do is take this card right here and give it to them. You're not spreading the cards. The implication here is that the spectator could get any card they want. Really, you're just taking the top card and you're going to give it to them. So look at how fair this looks. You place the deck behind your back, you palm the card, you have the card hidden behind your back, you then have the spectator shuffle the deck, place it behind your back, you then turn briefly as you do the move and say, are you happy with the deck? Yes, you're happy that you mixed it? Perfect. Now do me a favor, you sir, come over here behind the back, and I want you to take a card. Go ahead, take a card. I want you to look at it. I don't want to see it. And I want you to go ahead and place it inside of your pocket. Now, what you're doing behind your back is just this. Do me a favor, take a card right here, take a look at it, don't forget it, and put it inside of your pocket. I'm not doing this. I'm not offering the deck to them. I'm just simply taking the top card as I say, do me a favor, take a card right here, look at it, and don't forget it. So the perception to the rest of the audience is that, guess what? They could take any card. Really, you're taking only one card, and that's the top card, the card that you initially palmed under the deck. You see the move here? You see how hot this is? It's a wonderful little force. The tidbit at the end there is just a little bit of an addition that your boy gave it. It's not necessarily something that was found in 202 Ways to Force a Card, because Animan wasn't on my level. All right. Theodore Animan wasn't on my level. So he wasn't thinking in this fourth dimensional way, but I am. So that's just a nice little bit of a force that you could use that is very, very fair. The spectator shuffles the deck. They place it in your empty hands. You could then apparently give them a card that the spectators all assume is a freely selected chosen card because the deck's been mixed anyways. So it doesn't matter. You've never seen the card, but really it's the exact card that you wanted to force on them. I know it requires a little bit of a palm, but guess what? You're doing it behind your back. If you can't palm a card behind your back, then maybe you should pick a new skill. I recommend gardening. I recommend, I don't know, learning how to use shears to cut up paper towels, something that requires less skill. Maybe that might be something that you'll be inclined to do rather than magic if you can't palm a card behind your back. But that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys do all the things that people do when it comes to videos. Check out the link in the description below for Skillshare. Once again, thank you for sponsoring this episode. I hope this audio is in sync this time. If you noticed, I spent $40 on an adapter from this camera right here, because apparently DJI decided in their infinite wisdom, oh man, you know what? Most people are going to want to connect an external microphone to this camera. So what we'll do is that we'll make it a $40 adapter that people have to buy to use it. Ha 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 ha. Well, guess what? I bought it just to improve the quality of these videos for you guys. I did it for you guys. Okay. So thank you guys. I'm going to go figure out different ways to use Kool-Aid to attract people. To the back with the hat, lean back in the lack, crack the window, hear the soldier styles, that in the back. Ain't no cat at a hat, just cat that can rap. This is Bronson, representing Flushing Queens in the map. Yeah, heavyweight primate with a Harvard mind. Blunts filled with the citrus mixed with the orange lime. Pussy drip when the thought of action come to mind. More than a ride, winter, spring, summer shine. Bonafide, eyes wide, run and hide. You don't want the revolution to be televised. Terrified from the Arab mountain death camps. With the iron burning hot, give you chest stamps.